Take a look at the most expensive bottles of pure French cognac in your liquor cabinet. V.S.O.P, or XO. All the acronyms that dictate their value are in English. Why does the proud king of French brandy use an English grading system? And what if I told you that its founding fathers didn't even hold French citizenship? The irony is real. You probably think a wildly expensive glass of liquor must be crafted from the absolute finest ingredients, right? A total misconception. Its raw base material is actually a harshly sour, over-fermented grape juice. Bland, cheap. How could that be? Let's uncover the magic that transformed it into liquid gold and discover together. What exactly is this powerful drink? Cognac is a refined spirit. More accurately, it belongs to the brandy family. It is fermented and distilled from grapes. It is widely considered the ultimate symbol of luxury, the elegant essence of French culture. People have crowned it the king of digestives, a drink that soothes the stomach after a heavy feast, or, as the great literary master Victor Hugo once passionately exclaimed, the liquor of the gods. But not all brandy is cognac. Why is there a distinction? Brandy is incredibly common. It can be made from apple, peach, or plum juice. It can be distilled in any type of pot, aged in any type of wood, and produced anywhere in the world, from a winery in California to a distillery in South America. But not cognac. It is bound. It is chained by an incredibly strict legal system in France. A standard known as the AOC, Appellation d'Origine Contrôlée. This liquid is only permitted to be born in one single region on Earth, the Cognac region. Located in southwestern France, stretching from the banks of the Charente River right to the edge of the Atlantic coast. This sacred land is further subdivided into 6 ecological zones. They call them the Crus. These include Grand Champagne, Petit Champagne, Borderies, Fin Bois, Bon Bois, and Bois Ordinaire. If you see the words fine champagne on the bottle, it doesn't mean it's sparkling wine. It is a promise, a guarantee that this bottle was blended from the 2 absolute best crus. And at least half of that blend must come from the legendary Grand Champagne region. A flawless definition, a true national pride. But would you believe it? The very national soul of France is largely ignored by the French themselves. The French practically turn a blind eye to the masterpiece their own country created. A staggering 97% of all cognac produced is shipped right past their borders. We here in America, along with China, are the actual giant consumers. Back in its homeland, less than 3% of this liquor is consumed. The French prefer wine or whiskey. In their eyes, this amber liquid is old-fashioned. It's like an antique, something reserved only for old men sipping slowly after dinner. A drink made by foreigners to be sold to foreigners. And historically speaking, that is entirely accurate. To truly understand this fact, we have to travel back to the 16th century. At that time, ocean-faring galleons dominated the globe, and Dutch merchants flocked to the Charente region of France. They bought massive wooden casks of wine to trade across the seas. But the ocean is ruthless. The grueling voyages dragged on for months. The sweltering heat, the damp, humid ship holds. The wine spoiled. It rapidly over-fermented and turned into sour, acidic vinegar. The Dutch merchants were desperate. They were facing the imminent threat of losing their entire fortunes. They needed a solution. And then, a stroke of absolute genius flashed during the crisis. If the water was making the wine spoil, why not just extract the water? They decided to literally boil that spoiling wine, distilling it to concentrate the alcohol. They called this new liquid brandewine. In Dutch, that translates to burned wine. That was the true predecessor of cognac, a masterpiece born out of sheer desperation to fight off rot. It doesn't stop there. History records an even more ironic truth. The very first and most world-renowned cognac houses were not founded by the French. Their founding fathers were outsiders, men hailing from England and Ireland. They stole the very soul of the French grape. But what exact kind of grape did they use? French law dictates that cognac must be made from white grapes, and the grape variety that absolutely dominates this region is called Ugni Blanc. It accounts for a staggering 98% of the planted area. What's the problem? Ugni Blanc makes a terrible, awful wine. The sugar content in the grape is incredibly low. The fermentation process only yields a wine with a measly alcohol content of around 8 to 9%. Furthermore, its acidity is horrifically high. It is sharply sour, bland. Almost no one on earth would ever want to pour that wine into a glass and drink it straight. But in the alchemical world of distillation, that discarded fruit is an absolute miracle. It is exactly that high acidity that protects the wine from bacterial attacks. Thanks to this, winemakers never have to add chemical preservatives, the very things that would completely destroy the pure flavor of the liquor when heated. And that heating process isn't a free-for-all either. You can't just distill liquor all year round. Production is chained to an incredibly short-lived golden window during the winter. The furnace fires are only permitted to ignite starting in November, and absolutely everything must be completely finished before March 31st of the following year. Miss it by one day? The entire batch of liquor is ruined. They must boil that sour, acidic wine, not just once, but double distilled, twice, inside traditional copper pots known as Charente stills. These copper pots have a highly distinct onion shape. The resulting yield is a crystal clear liquid. The alcohol content skyrockets to 70%. Incredibly powerful. They call it by the term eau de vie, the water of life. To turn that alcohol into liquid gold, they have to imprison it in the dark. The water of life is pumped into French oak barrels. The wood must be felled from ancient forests like Limousin or Tronchet, and they must sleep in dark cellars for a minimum of 2 years, sometimes for decades, even up to a full century. During that time, the liquor interacts with the wood grain and oxygen. From crystal clear, it gradually takes on a pale honey color, then slowly transitions into a deep, authoritative, dark amber. From there, the liquor absorbs the sweet aroma of vanilla and the scent of dried fruits. Some producers even use the Solera aging system. They continuously blend old and new liquor to maintain an immortal flavor profile across multiple generations. This process causes millions of liters of liquor to literally evaporate into thin air every single year. They call that massive loss by a highly poetic name, part d'ange, meaning the angel's share, a mandatory tribute paid in exchange for absolute perfection. And after the angels have taken their cut, the responsibility falls to the cellar masters. They will taste and blend dozens, even hundreds of different waters of life from various ages and specific plots of land to create the most perfect, standardized formula before bottling. And right here, another bizarre paradox appears directly on the bottle's label. In the heart of proud France, every single acronym that dictates the value of cognac is in English. Why? Because of the sheer power of commerce. Historically, the Americans and the British were the ones paying the most money. Therefore, they earned the right to impose their language. VS, very special, is for bottles aged at least 2 years. V.S.O.P, very superior old pale, for lines aged over 4 years. And XO, extra old, or Napoleon, for masterpieces aged from 6 to 10 years. Going even higher, we have hors d'âge or vintage, legacies that span multiple decades. When you drop a massive amount of money on a 10 or 30-year-old glass of cognac, you probably expect an explosion of smooth sweetness. In reality, not quite. The most expensive lines of cognac possess a secret weapon. They call it Rancio. It is a specialized term used to describe an extreme flavor transformation. Rancio is not sweet. It brings the aroma of damp earth, a deep, savory umami flavor, the scent of wild mushrooms, the pungent smell of walnuts, the aroma of worn leather, cigars, even the salty tang of aged cheese. Are you shocked? Sounds incredibly bizarre, doesn't it? But that is the holy grail for liquor connoisseurs. That unique complexity is the ultimate sign of absolute class. The acidity and alcohol in cognac act like a perfectly honed cutting machine. That is exactly why Americans love to pair it with heavily flavored foods, Roquefort or Parmesan cheese, cured meats, caviar, or a sharply bitter bar of dark chocolate. The cognac pierces right through the rich, heavy fat, leaving behind a perfectly balanced finish at the back of the throat. They enjoy it neat in tulip-shaped glasses or chubby snifters. They warm it up with the heat of their palms, sometimes even using an open flame. And don't think this king is too conservative. In American bars, cognac is an incredibly versatile soul in the world of mixology. It is not afraid to be mixed. It forms the backbone of classic cocktails like the Sidecar, the Sazerac, or the French Connection. It is perfectly willing to lower its status to be mixed with sparkling water or ginger beer. An epic journey, and starting from sheer panic out on the ocean, from terrible grapes that no one wanted to drink, enduring draconian laws and the thievery of angels. Ultimately, it transformed into a masterpiece that dominates the palate of the entire world. A spectacular trade-off in human history. One word, clear as day: class.